A lot of that has to do with the high cost of living in the Bay Area. Apartments that were once $1,000 a month now cost closer to $3,000 a month. A lot of the homeless are addicts, but there's no real one reason homelessness is so high in Oakland. If you ask 10 homeless people why they live on the streets, you're going to get 10 different answers. Look at this one in West Oakland. This one is sort of sanctioned by the city, meaning they don't run them off. Sometimes it's easier to keep them in one place so they can monitor them and provide support. But this problem's impacting the community in a big way. Local businesses complain about losing customers. I mean, would you want to park near here to shop? Residents complain about homeless people stealing from them. Neighbors complain about loud noise and trash. Some say helping the homeless is backfiring. And the Oakland police are already stretched thin because of low numbers. There's many reasons for that. Vaccine mandates, early retirements, and being defunded. Now, I spent 2 days driving around Oakland looking at how run down this once proud city's become. And along the way, I recorded all the homeless camps I saw. But there was one particular homeless camp that I stumbled onto which put into perspective the state of homelessness here in Oakland and actually changed my perspective on the homeless problem in general. As I was driving around on the west side of town, I came across a huge makeshift camp made up of RVs and improvised shelters, something that looked like what you would see in a third world country. It was under a freeway overpass across the street from a public park, in an abandoned area of former warehouses that people had used to dump their crap for years. As I learned, the RVs parked here were actually the working poor, people who had decent jobs but still couldn't afford a place to live in Oakland. Some are even doctors who were new to the city and had to save up enough money to afford a down payment on their first apartments. But many of the people outside of the homeless RV park were people who had been here for a long time. Some were trying to save money to change their situation. Despite the way it looks from the street, this camp was well organized. There's even leaders here who enforce rules, and there's even camp security. It's a camp with community and pride and progress. And as I learned, a lot of the people in this camp are actually trying to make this temporary homeless camp their permanent home. Their goal is to get Caltrans to donate the land to a nonprofit they had set up so they could raise money to build a permanent village of tiny homes where they would then live. So they were squatting here until they could get agencies to help them with their goals. As they would explain to me, they'd be getting a job and a house at the same time, since their jobs would be building their new homes. And then after their village was built, their jobs would be managing their village. They're serious about it. This man goes by Ohio. He founded this makeshift camp 15 years ago.
We started feeding people out of my house. And then me and my wife ended up separated and I ended up in the streets. That was about 15 years ago. I ended up down here. I was the first one down here. The police ran me out of here.
You were the first one here?
First one here. There was no tents, no nothing. I had a black Dodge Dakota. I was sleeping in. I was scrapping metal at that time. And then I got sick from being down here and all this stuff. See, these people get sick. You get sick from, not from the COVID, not from none of that. It's from the garbage that people come dump. These aren't the people that's dumping this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, look, like, yeah.
You can tell. These aren't the people that's dumping this stuff.
No.
Cars are coming in here, trucks are coming here, loads coming here and dumping stuff here. And so the rat problem that we have are from people that are dumping. So I had a tent down here for a long time. And then just about a couple of months ago, they moved me into my apartment.
How long were you here?
I was here about 15 years.
15 years?
Yeah.
Living in a Dakota?
Yeah.
And you finally...
A tent and a Dakota.
And you finally got out of here after 15 years.
Yeah.
How did you get out of here?
Huh?
How did you get out of here?
Focus. I'm not a man. I could live on the street. I could survive on the street, but I don't belong on the street. None of us belong on the street. A lot of these people on the street are productive members of society. Doctors, lawyers, dentists, secretaries, construction workers, electricians, plumbers, mechanics. All these people here have a trade, and they've been pushed out by these dot-commers, by how Oakland has took the rent control and put it on stable. So now the people that, because they're on stable, these guys come in here, they build these places, and now a studio costs $3 grand. A studio? Come on, who pays $3 grand for a studio? A studio costs $3,000, so that's what happens when you get pushed out and there's no rent control. In Berkeley has rent control, but we don't.
So what did you saved up money and were able to get a cheap place? Is that how you got? Or
No,
the
there's
city
programs. Project Dignity and BACS is a good program to hang with. And these programs will help you get out of here. As long as you stay focused, as long as you stay on their backs, they're going to help you get out of here. And I stayed on them.